And don't forget to order your copy of Football Game Plan's latest book, Stiff Arming Football Myths, an excellent book that you can find on our website at footballgameplan.com/books, available in both PDF as well as paperback form. Welcome to footballgameplan.com, where football makes sense. I'm Memory Hunt, the czar of the playbook. Bring you our 2014 NFL team preview for the Denver Broncos. We're going to take a look at their offense, their defense, as well as their special teams. But let's start off on the offensive side of the football with the quarterback position. Peyton Manning played the best football of his career last year, throwing for over 5,400 yards and 55 touchdowns, leading the Broncos to the Super Bowl. And they've added a few more receiving weapons for him, and as long as they're able to keep him well protected in the pocket, there's no reason why he can't replicate what he did last season. It'll be interesting to watch Brock Osweiler and Zach Dysert battle for the number 2 job, and I actually like Brent Renner out of North Carolina as an undrafted free agent better than both guys, but it's more than likely he's headed to the practice squad. The Broncos have good talent in the backfield. Monte Ball takes over as the lead guy after splitting time last year with no Sean Moreno, and is more than capable to carry the load. The biggest thing you want to see from him is improvement in pass protection. Ronnie Hillman and C.J. Anderson are capable backups, and Hillman has good acceleration but must find that consistency in this game, while Anderson does give you a little bit of everything as a runner. The dark horse in this backfield is undrafted rookie free agent Capri Bibbs out of Colorado State, who has a vision to balance the acceleration you look for in the back, and in my opinion, could end up as a number 2 guy. The Broncos still have a dangerous receiving core without Eric Decker in the lineup. Demaryius Thomas is a game breaker, and he was a leading receiver last year with 94 receptions, over 1,400 yards, and 14 touchdowns. He and Wes Welker, who scored 10 touchdowns last year, are more than enough to give defensive coordinators fits. In free agency, they brought in Emmanuel Sanders from the Pittsburgh Steelers, who has gotten better each and every year and gives them more quickness and explosiveness than what they had in Eric Decker. The battle for the number 4 receiver spot is between Andre Caldwell, Jarrell Robinson, and rookie second-round pick Cody Latimer, and I'm a big fan of Robinson and what he can do after the catch, but they'll give Latimer, who has straight line speed, every opportunity to win the job. At tight end, Julius Thomas emerged as one of the best tight ends in the game last year, catching 65 passes for over 700 yards and 12 touchdowns. He and Jacob Tamme are 2 athletically gifted players that give the Broncos a lot of personnel and formation flexibility. Denver has one of the best offensive lines in football, and it also helps when you have a quarterback that does a great job in getting rid of the football quickly. The combination of the two led to Peyton Manning being the least sacked quarterback in the NFL last season. A healthy Ryan Clady at left tackle allows Chris Clark to move to the right side, giving Denver 2 solid bookends. Both Clady and guard Luis Vasquez are arguably some of the best at their position. Orlando Franklin moves back inside to his more natural guard spot, while center Manny Ramirez played great in the middle last year. The Broncos added 2 solid rookies in the draft in center Matt Paradis and tackle Michael Schofield out of Michigan. Both, along with Will Montgomery, Ryan Miller, and Winston Justice, will provide good quality depth up front. The Broncos got better here in the offseason by bringing in future Hall of Famer DeMarcus Ware from the Dallas Cowboys, whose down year last season had a lot to do with the nagging injuries than a decline in his skills. So look for him to regain that form this year for Denver. Keep an eye on last year's 5th-round pick Quanterra Smith out of Western Kentucky, who in my opinion is a much better pass rusher than both Derek Wolfe and Malik Jackson. Smith redshirted last year as he recovered from an ACL injury and is 100% healthy. And you wonder about the health of Denver's Derek Wolfe out there at defensive end moving forward, along with the Malik Jackson, who's a solid guy with the ability to kick down inside. And I like what they have at defensive tackle. I think any combination of the 4 guys, Sylvester Williams, Kevin Vickerson, Terrence Knighton, and Mitch Unrein, would be equally as effective. Knighton had a breakout season last year, and Williams is poised for his this season. Von Miller is an obvious difference maker, and the key for him is just staying healthy. He's 100% this year and should resume his playmaking ways. The biggest question is in the middle. The hope is that Nate Irving can finally put a stranglehold on a position, and he plays fast and doesn't play with consistency, and that's what you want to see change from Irving this year. Jamar Chaney would be next in line if Irving starts to struggle, and the other outside linebacker spot is being held by Danny Trevathan, who led the team in tackles last year with 124. His speed and acceleration puts him in position to make a lot of plays. Depth is a major concern here, but one guy that could see a lot of time in rotation would be undrafted rookie free agent Shaquille Barrett out of Colorado State. He played 3 positions in college: inside backer, outside backer, defensive end, 4-3-3-4, and he also has the ability to get to the quarterback. Gone is future Hall of Famer Champ Bailey, and in comes Pro Bowler Aqib Talib from the New England Patriots, who's a tall corner with ball skills, and he can match up versus wide receivers and tight ends alike. Opposite of him is Chris Harris, who plays well on both ends of defense, showcasing good quickness and instincts. And the Broncos will also look to first-round pick Bradley Roby out of Ohio State to start at nickel, and if not, he'll see a lot of time on the outside. I'm a big fan of Kayvon Webster, and his play last year puts him in the mix for that nickel job as well, giving Denver a nice quartet of cornerbacks. Jerome Murphy and Tony Carter could battle it out for the 5th spot. Now at safety, there's Raheem Moore and free agent signee from the Cleveland Browns, T.J. Ward. Both are your classic free and strong safeties respectively and should complement one another very well. Duke Iheanacho provides good strong safety depth, and while Quentin Carter brings a lot to the table, he has struggled to stay healthy and could lose out to Omar Bolden or even John Boyette. Very good kicking game here in Denver with kicker Matt Prater and punter Brenton Colquitt. Now, Prater gets more work than Colquitt does, but both are excellent and definitely are considered weapons. The return game is where I have the questions. They lose Trendon Holiday, who was great at flipping field position, and the Broncos could look to Wes Welker, Cody Latimer, Omar Bolden, or undrafted rookie free agents Capri Bibbs and Isaiah Burst to handle the job. This was one of the best football teams last year, obviously proving that by making a Super Bowl, and they actually got better in the offseason without losing vital pieces. So you can see the optimism and almost the high expectations for the Broncos this season. The cause for concern will be the linebacking core. You can question the Mike Backer and the health of Von Miller. Also, there's not a lot of depth there either, so this could be an Achilles heel to a very strong football team. The road to the Super Bowl for the Broncos goes as follows. Number 1, Emmanuel Sanders is able to add to the offense. I know they lose Eric Decker, and I know he brings a lot more explosiveness and speed and quickness to the table, and if he can elevate what they already have on the roster, they're going to be dangerous once again this year. And the pass rush has to be dominant. They bring in DeMarcus Ware. They also get a healthy Von Miller back. These guys have to be able to get to the quarterback, especially in that division. And Peyton Manning takes the ball out of his hands just a little bit more. Rely on that running game just a little bit. I think they could have knocked off the Seahawks in the Super Bowl had they ran the football, and I think he realizes that and has to take the ball away from himself in order to move forward. And I think those 3 things could have the Broncos back in the Super Bowl this year. I have the Broncos finishing first in the AFC West. This is still a strong football team, probably the best in the AFC. What can't happen is complacency, because everyone in the division got better. There are a lot of teams this year in the AFC as a whole that match up very well versus the Broncos, like New England, Indianapolis, San Diego, even Baltimore, so getting to Glendale isn't a sure thing. But with the talent and the rededication to the mission ahead, the Broncos could put themselves in great position to do so. And I also want to give a huge shout out to Bronco fan forums for always showing football game plan support.